Israel has sought the release of 34 hostages in the first stage of ceasefire deal in Gaza, claims the Hezbollah-affiliated Al-Mayadin news outlet, citing an anonymous Hamas official. The 34 hostages include all remaining women and children, female IDF soldiers, the sick and elderly. According to reports, Israel in return will release an unconfirmed number of Palestinian security prisoners, including some serving life sentences. A projectile fired from Yemen was intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defense system at a steep 45-degree angle of descent, triggering sirens to blare across central Israel in the early hours of Thursday. Footage captured showed the moment the projectile streaked across the sky before being successfully intercepted. A loud explosive sound followed the interception. The Israeli military confirmed that the projectile was a missile launched from Yemen. This incident marked the latest in a series of attacks by Yemen's Houthis, who have fired drones and missiles towards Israel in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. Israel has launched airstrikes on Yemen's ports and energy infrastructure used by Houthi rebels in response to a missile fired from Yemen being intercepted. The strikes targeted power stations, oil facilities and the port of Hodeidah, resulting in deaths and injuries, according to the Houthi media. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called on the international community to pressure Israel to adhere to a ceasefire agreement in Lebanon and provide compensation for damages caused during the conflict. Erdogan made the statement during a joint press conference with Lebanon's visiting Prime Minister Najib Mikati in Ankara. The two leaders also discussed the situation in Syria, with Erdogan announcing that Lebanon and Turkey will work together to help Syrians achieve stability. Mikati condemned Israel's occupation of part of Syrian land, calling for strong pressure to end the occupation immediately. A Ukrainian drone strike hit an oil refinery in Russia's Rostov region, starting a fire and marking the second attack on the facility in 6 months. According to the regional governor, Yuri Slyosa, Russian air defense systems repelled a Ukrainian attack involving 10 missiles, but a subsequent drone strike caused the blaze. Emergency crews are working to extinguish the fire, and the extent of casualties is being assessed. Finland has witnessed a significant increase in military training and shooting range activities since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Finnish government is taking steps to encourage citizens to take an interest in national defense, including plans to open over 300 new shooting ranges across the country. The goal is to increase the number of shooting ranges from 670 to 1,000 by 2030. This move has been welcomed by defense groups and lawmakers. President-elect Donald Trump has rejected a bipartisan plan to prevent a government shutdown, sending Congress into chaos just days before a critical deadline. Trump's sudden intervention has put House Speaker Mike Johnson in a difficult position, forcing him to scramble for a new plan to keep the government open beyond Friday. The move has sparked criticism from Democrats who argue that Trump's demands will harm working-class Americans and undermine bipartisan agreements. A rare 1,500-year-old marble tablet containing the Ten Commandments sold for a staggering $5.4 million at a New York City auction on Wednesday. The tablet, weighing 115 pounds and measuring 2 feet tall, was unearthed in 1913 during railway excavations in southern Israel. The tablet features the Ten Commandments inscribed in Paleo-Hebrew script, with a notable omission of the third commandment, replaced by a directive to worship on Mount Gerizim, a holy site specific to Samaritans. This unique characteristic highlights the tablet's significance in understanding the evolution of religious texts. A devastating plane crash occurred on the outskirts of Buenos Aires, Argentina, resulting in the deaths of at least 2 people, the pilot, the co-pilot. The private plane, a Bombardier Challenger 300, had flown from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil and clashed while attempting to land in San Fernando International Airport. According to reports, the plane experienced difficulty braking after touching down, causing it to veer off the runway and crash into a nearby building. Firefighters quickly responded to the scene, rescuing people from the building and evacuating surrounding homes. A team of researchers in Budapest achieved a significant milestone in drone technology. They've successfully developed an innovative swarm technology that enables up to 5,000 drones to fly autonomously and respond to their environment in real time. The technology has also garnered interest from military forces who see potential applications in defense and attack operations. Tragedy struck in southwestern Nigeria on Wednesday when a stampede at a holiday fun fair resulted in the deaths of several children. The incident occurred at the Islamic High School in Basirun, Oyo State, near the economic hub of Lagos. According to reports, security forces quickly responded to the scene and arrested the event organizers. Injured children were rushed to local hospitals where parents were asked to check for missing persons. The incident has sent shockwaves across the country, and an investigation is currently underway to determine the cause of the stampede. Shanghai's newest transportation hub, which is the Songjiang railway station, is set to open its doors, marking a major milestone in the city's infrastructure, a development and transportation network. As the third largest railway station in Shanghai, it boasts an impressive 60,000 square meters of space, featuring 9 platforms and 23 tracks. A devastating fire tore through a 3-story cafe in Hanoi, Vietnam, killing 11 people and injuring several others. The blaze, which occurred on Wednesday, was allegedly sparked by a man in his 50s following an argument with the cafe staff. The suspect, who has been taken into custody, confessed to using gasoline to set the fire. 7 people managed to escape, with 2 hospitalized for their injuries. At least 5 terrorists were killed and 2 security personnel injured in a shootout in Kulgam district of India's Jammu and Kashmir. The shootout occurred during a cordon and search operation launched by security forces in the Kader area, following specific intelligence inputs regarding the presence of terrorists. When challenged by the security forces, terrorists opened fire and an encounter ensued. Search and cordon operations are still underway. China has completed a major milestone in the construction of the world's largest transparent spherical neutrino detector in Jiangming Underground Neutrino Observatory in Guangdong. Neutrinos are the oldest and most primitive elementary particles that have existed since the beginning of the universe. The 12-story tall acrylic sphere, installed 700 meters underground, will study neutrinos. Juno, set to begin operations in 2025, aims to reveal the secrets of the universe's fundamental forces and particles, with plans for at least 30 years of research. A 67-year-old woman in Malaysia has lost over $500,000 in a decade-long online love scam. The scam began in October 2017 when she met a man on Facebook who claimed to be an American businessman in need of financial help to move to Malaysia. Over the years, the scammer repeatedly requested money for personal and business reasons. The woman transferred funds over 300 times to 50 different bank accounts, including loans from family and friends. The victim claimed that she never saw the man in person or via video call. She only realized she was being scammed after sharing her experiences with a friend. UK proposes letting tech firms use copyrighted work to train AI. This new system would allow tech firms like Google and OpenAI to use copyrighted works for the training. While tech organizations welcome the move, creatives, including authors and artists, have raised concerns. They say it could undermine their rights and livelihoods, with some calling the proposal untested and unfair. However, the government argues that such measures will resolve ongoing conflicts between AI companies and creators, promoting transparency and innovation. A report by South Korean government has warned that cyber attacks using generative artificial intelligence are set to rise in 2025. Hackers are expected to use AI to craft sophisticated spear phishing emails and fake news for political manipulation. The report highlights the potential for AI-driven content to mislead the public, causing confusion and social unrest. There are also concerns over deepfake blackmail cases following an uptick in such crimes earlier this year. Not only that, state-sponsored hacking groups may target industries like cryptocurrency and AI due to political shifts in the United States. Thousands of Amazon workers across multiple U.S. cities are set to strike during the critical holiday season, demanding better wages and working conditions. The strike, organized by the Teamsters Union, impacts about 1% of Amazon's hourly workforce, with walkouts planned in New York City, Illinois, Atlanta, and California. The union accuses Amazon of refusing to negotiate contracts despite growing union efforts since a Staten Island warehouse unionized in 2022. Amazon, which prefers direct worker relations, has challenged union drives, filing objections in the NLRB and alleging union coercion. Experts say Amazon's strategy of delaying negotiations has so far succeeded. The Bank of Japan keeps interest rates unchanged at 0.25% with an 8-1 vote as policymakers exercise caution and global economic uncertainty. Dissenting board member Naoki Tamura pushed for a rate hike to 0.5%, signaling potential tightening early next year. The decision follows the US Federal Reserve's rate cut and hawkish outlook, which has put upward pressure on the yen. Markets anticipate a rate hike by March 2025, supported by rising wages and inflation driven by a weak yen. However, concerns over China's slowing demand and the potential economic impact of Donald Trump's policies have added to the uncertainty to the BOJ's timeline for further tightening. The South Korean won weakened to its lowest level in 15 years, driven by a stronger US dollar and domestic political uncertainty. The Federal Reserve's cautious stance on interest rate cuts pushed the dollar higher, adding pressure on the won, which has dropped 11% year to date, the worst among emerging Asian currencies. South Korea's recent political turmoil, including President Yoon Suk-yeol's brief martial law attempt, has also shaken market confidence. The Bank of Korea has flagged downside risk to growth, and officials have promised swift measures to stabilize the currency if volatility spikes. Meanwhile, local banks were asked to manage forex transactions more flexibly to ease pressure. The Indian rupee falls to a new record low, breaching 85 per dollar. This follows hawkish signals from the US Federal Reserve that dampened expectations of rate cuts in 2024. The currency weakened by 0.1%, in line with declines seen in other Asian markets. This slide was compounded by outflows from bonds and equities, as well as weakness in the Chinese yuan. A widening trade deficit and slowing economic growth have further pressured the rupee. The Reserve Bank of India recently cut its growth forecast for the financial year to 6.6%, down from 7.2% amid calls to ease monetary policy. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.